Hi, welcome to Enter the Bunker, where we launch you into thriving. Each week we talk about a different virtue that can be used as a building brick to build your own personal bunkers. We share personal stories, as well as tips and tricks to help you thrive instead of survive. So sit down, relax, and enter the bunker.
Hello, and welcome to Enter the Bunker. This week's building brick is Respect Part 2. My name's Kelly.
And I'm Jonathan.
And we're going to go over 4 ways on how to develop some more self-respect.
Self-respect.
Number 1, reflect on your feelings. 2, assess your values and boundaries. 3, notice the little details. And 4, speak up for yourself. All right, let's go into detail. So the first one was reflect on your feelings. Think of a time when you felt you weren't treated the way you thought you should be. It might be something like a friend canceling on you at the last minute, or if you felt your opinion wasn't valued, or maybe your mother called and kept you on the phone when you told her you were on your way out. But don't stop there. Look inwards too. Have you ever wished that you didn't watch one more episode of the show you were binging when the alarm went off in the morning? Or how about that second helping of chocolate cake? It is important to think about how all of these things made you feel. When you have negative feelings, when you reflect, only then can you take steps to fix it. Yeah. But then it's like a matter, like you can reflect all you want, but it's a matter of like taking those steps. I feel like.
To reflect on your feelings?
No, like you can reflect all you want and you can be like, you can think about how it made you feel when you ate that piece of cake, but it's really the taking the step on doing anything about it, right?
Oh, to changing the things you did.
Yeah.
So I think that begins
What's the point of reflecting if you're not going to do it is what I think.
Take action from what you gather from it, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I agree. So go back to the cake example.
Yeah.
It's funny. Sometimes if I think about, okay, I had that cake, I shouldn't have had that cake.
Yeah.
I don't really, if I reflect on it, I don't really think much of it. Like,
no.
I guess I've never been able to reflect. I don't know. I mean, after I eat a piece of cake, I'm like, that was good. Like,
yeah, that's your reflection. That was good cake.
That was tasty.
It was so good. I wanted a second piece.
Yeah. So what if I stop to reflect, like, well, gee, I shouldn't have ate it and things like that. I think that maybe at that point I can think, what was my state of being that made me feel that I needed to have that cake? Do you know what I mean?
It was my birthday.
Was it in it?
Like,
yeah.
It could have been like your kid's birthday.
There could be something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about a random time, like, it's there. You shouldn't have had it, sort of thing.
Right.
But yeah, I think that if you can reflect on your feelings at the time and make it as close to the time that it happened, it'll have more impact than if you like let it like. It's very hard to reflect after, like long after something has happened, because it kind of dissipates, and then all that's left is the memory of what it was and not the feeling. Right. Yeah. So, and then take action on whatever it is. It's like, okay, so I ate that cake because, I was having a crappy day, and that's not the right way to be handling it. I need to instead focus on what made that day so crappy and get those things in proper order. And then the next time I go for the cake, I'm like, no, I really got to deal with the crappy day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Number 2, assess your values and boundaries. You need to know what is important to you. You need to know your goals and your limits. When you know what is important to you, it can then be used to help guide your actions. It can also be used to make sure that your needs are being met by others. An author once wrote, "The trouble with doing nothing is that you never know when you are finished. If you don't know what is important to you, you will never know if you are getting what you need." I guess that's facts. I guess that all comes down to like having your goals and going towards them.
And your limits.
Right. Yeah.
So you can have your goals and you can have your values. There's only so much you're going to be able to do with where you are in life.
Okay.
Right?
That's the limit.
Yeah, that's
okay. Because I was thinking like, sometimes I feel like there could be no limits. Like,
well, there's no limits to possibilities.
Yes. Okay. That's where I'm at. But then yes, I get it now.
But in terms of like, I don't know, like you need to be
I want to buy a patio set, but they're $1,000 and I only have $500.
Okay, that's a good example.
There.
So financial limitations are real, right? So understand your values of what matters.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't buy the patio set. Maybe I can get by without a patio set.
Yeah.
You know, but the patio set is important to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going to work towards being able to get enough to be able to get beyond those limits.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you understand when you understand your own goals and you understand what matters to you in terms of like how you feel about yourself
Yeah.
and about the world.
Yeah.
Again, this has to do with like that, then that's going to reflect in how you treat others. To me, this is something that if you're going to assess your values, the reason you would do this is because then you have a more sure footing of understanding what is important to you. You would then look for what's important to others.
Yes.
And then reflect that to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. All right. Number 3 was notice the little details. Pay attention to the details. Is your friend constantly late for meeting up with you? Do they regularly forget their debit card and ask you to cover them and they'll get it next time? Does your cab driver take longer and therefore more expensive route home? Be aware of the little things in your interactions, and if you feel you're being taken advantage of, you can then act and stand up for yourself. It is easy to say to yourself, it's enough that my friend got together with me, or at least the cab driver got me home, and ignore that how it happened wasn't necessarily in your best interest. Wait, does it take longer for a cab driver? Does your cab driver take longer and therefore a more expensive route home?
Have you ever experienced that?
No, because I tell them where to go.
Okay.
I don't know. I've never really taken like cabs like through town or anything.
Okay.
It's always been like, because I've always lived out in the country, so it's been like they don't even know where they're going half the time. So you're like having to tell them where to go.
Have you had a friend forget their debit card?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. But like I cover them, they cover me. I never think of it as a big deal.
So it wasn't something where they were taking advantage of you?
No.
Okay. No. That's good. So,
I feel like for me, it would take a long time for me to feel like I was being taken advantage by somebody. I feel like it would take a lot. I don't know.
Do you think it's because you just don't notice those little details?
I'm wondering that now, or if it's more of just like, I just have a lot of respect for myself. So in the end, I still have respect for that person. Like, I don't know. I'm just thinking here. Maybe I'm.
So here's the thing. Excuse me. So the point to this was like, in terms of noticing little details in others, is where you might be getting disrespected.
Yeah.
And you're not picking up on it.
Yeah. And so maybe I'm actually being walked all over.
Regardless of how much respect you might give somebody else.
Yeah.
They're taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to be more aware, pay attention to the details.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, 4, last one is speak up for yourself. In order to develop self-respect, you need to act. Show others how you want to be treated by how you treat yourself and allow yourself to be treated. So speak up for what you want and need. It may just be a simple question that you ask, isn't it better to go down Main Street? The response to your speaking up for yourself can go a long way to giving you insight into how they view you. By speaking up, it also shows you that you are aware of these things and that you respect yourself enough to try and change what is happening. So, yeah, that's a hard thing to sometimes do, is speak up though.
This is where you're building this building brick.
Yeah.
Like by really doing that.
Mm-hmm. I can think of instances actually where I've spoken up for myself. The things I'm thinking of have to do with family, but just little things that I would normally like either cry about or like get angry with or whatever. I just instead of like dwelling on it, I just spoke up and I try to do it in a respectful manner because I don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right.
But this is stuff that's bothering me.
Right.
So I feel like it needs to be said, or it's stuff that could bother somebody else and it needs to be like, maybe I didn't need to say it. I don't know. But I feel like all around they can respect me more for acknowledging the situation and coming about it in a respectful way even.
Right.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's exactly it.
Yeah.
And it's good that you're actually like, you're noticing that you're starting to do that sort of thing.
Yeah. And that's where when we were just talking there, like I said, it takes a long time for me to feel disrespected, but I think it's just because I don't notice the cues, like we were saying. Like I need to notice that more.
And then maybe speak up about it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, and that was Respect Part 2. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you then.
Thank you for listening to Enter the Bunker. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, where you can share your story and also look at behind the scenes of how we make our podcast. You can watch the video version of this podcast on YouTube by simply searching Enter the Bunker. Tune in next time as we launch into thriving.